Hello, welcome back to the This Is Me podcast. I'm Karen.
And I'm Ellie, and today we have Nat joining us. Nat is the owner of Shaw HR and is a long-suffering Women of Our Time supporter. No, you really, well, we'll talk about it, we'll get into it, I'm sure. But yeah, you have been a really big supporter of us from the get-go, really, in all our iterations. So thank you for that, and thank you for taking time out to speak to us today. So to start, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and sort of how you got to where you are today?
Oh, right. Thanks for having me. And I've enjoyed supporting you through your many iterations. It's good fun.
Yeah.
Who am I and where have I come from? It's a bit like I expect Stella to come on with a microphone and a bit of a screen.
Yeah.
So nicely introduced. So I'm not currently HR consultant with my own company, Shaw HR. I have spent the last 15-20 years in HR. So didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm not academic, very practical, but not academic. I like a good killer book, not a good like bedtime
Textbook.
story about.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about that, what we're reading at the minute, and I'm reading like a really crappy old detective series because it's just good to go to sleep with.
So kind of did school, didn't like it. Didn't like any of school. Didn't particularly like any of the people at school. Don't have any like childhood school friends. It just wasn't for me, and it wasn't my place. I didn't fit in, and I didn't want to. And I'm okay with that. And I suppose in later life, what it teaches you is if I'm not comfortable, like, then I don't need to be there. So I'm not a tree. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to move, and I'm comfortable doing that. Yeah. So I went to college, didn't know what I wanted to do, fumbled about a bit there like you do. Was pushed really quite heavily to go to university, and fundamentally didn't want to. Because it would have been another place that I didn't fit, another thing that I didn't want to do. I would have come out with thousands of pounds worth of debt with probably a degree that was useless because I didn't really have a clue.
Who was pushing you, Nat? Who was pushing you to do it? College or?
No. So like my father's side of the family.
Right.
Me and my mum are really like, so my mum's like, just go, be happy, like, do what makes you happy. And like my nan and my granddad and my mum are like my biggest supporters, and they're like, will support me in anything. So even if it's a massive flop, they'll always support me for trying and for having a go. And that other side is not like that. So university was the done thing. I don't do the done thing, as you'll probably find out.
I think we know.
So it fell into like a recruitment job.
Really?
Yeah. And actually, I was like, I liked like the people were nice and I liked it. But then it was a bit cutthroat, so it was very salesy, and I'm just not. That's not me. So I like the people side of stuff because I'm interested. Like, I want to know what makes people tick. I want to know why people do what they do, how they act like they act. But I'm not in for like the hard sell because it's just not me. Yeah. So I left there. This will make you howl. I did a HRIS job, like me in IT.
Did you?
The girl who couldn't build her own website or fix her own emails started off in IT.
So what were you doing, like analysis or something, or?
I was doing.
I don't know. I never knew this. Now.
Yeah, so I used to do SAP.
Oh yeah.
So like configuring the system and like building it and making it work in like HR for HR. So it was all like data driven. I don't know how I did it because I hate it. Like, how to switch me off is a spreadsheet full of data, sort it out. Like I honestly don't know. So yeah, so I did.
Impressive.
I did that for a little while, and I did some HTML coding. That was a right laugh.
You were ahead of the game. You didn't buy Bitcoin, did you? Which is one of my biggest regrets.
Should have done. Probably didn't know what it was. Probably
No, I
still
know.
don't.
No, exactly.
So then I got into like a proper HR role, and I really liked it because I suppose it gave me variety and it gave me breadth. And I guess I am really curious and so nosy. Like, I like to know the whys and what fors of everything. So I guess it gave me a license to do that, and I really enjoyed it. So I never wanted to go back to my HRIT role. And so
probably the world's a better place that you didn't. So
can you imagine me on the help
no, I
desk?
can't.
Have you turned it on and off again? Oh, that won't work. Sorry.
I just can't imagine it. Oh, dear.
So that was where HR started, and then I've done advisor roles, manager roles, BP roles, and I've worked for some like really large global companies, and I probably enjoyed my time with all of them because probably at the times I was there, it was the right time for me. So where I kind of met lots of different people and got lots of different challenges and kind of covered all of the things that you don't like. There isn't a HR manual, so nobody says this sits in HR and you shall do. Like stuff comes up and it's a HR problem or HR have to deal with it, but they don't nobody teaches you that. And in amongst all of that, I did go to uni.
You went to uni and you did your bloody. Sorry, apologies. Didn't you do your CIPD there?
Yeah, I did.
Sure, I remember helping you with it.
Yes, I did. And do you know what? I hated it. So I did it because, like, CIPD, and at least I was interested in the subject matter, and at least it had meaning and purpose. But I hated it.
Do you just want to tell the people who are listening what the CIPD is now? So I think you're part of some sort of cult. So...
Wait, well, I'll tell you about BNI.
Okay.
So there we go. Look. Well, shall we just put my teeth back in? So the CIPD is basically HR qualification. I can't actually remember what it. Certificate.
Chartered
Institute for Personnel
Development.
Oh, good. So between the two of you, you've got a good grasp on what that is then. And I'm none the wiser.
Yeah, we got up. Should we try that again? Cut. Institute of Personnel Development. I don't know. Yeah. So you went to uni, got your qualification. Yeah.
Did my qualification. Honestly, hate every minute of it.
Well, so why did you do it then, Nat?
Because at the time, I think HR it's probably not as... So I don't follow up my membership with the CIPD now, just get no value out of it and its cost.
I have to say neither do I, and I was a fellow. So
and
neither do I.
But at the time, when you applied for a role, must be CIPD qualified or equivalent or studying towards, and like it makes my toes curl. And I see it now, so I see it on adverts, and I just think, like, I suppose it upsets me a bit because, like, that's like recruitment talent are usually part of a HR team. So when they're writing things like must have a CIPD qualification on an advert, I think like who are you losing? Like, what about all the candidates qualified by experience? What about the really good people who are out there who were like me and perhaps didn't want to go to uni? I got the opportunity to, and I was really lucky because it was company funded. I wouldn't have spent the money because I didn't have it. So I think when I see adverts like that, like, it gets me a bit, and I think it's quite outdated now. Yeah. And, you know, if I was to ever apply for a role and it says stuff like that, I think, no. Because it's a bit of a view probably on the company culture.
Right.
I think that's a really good point, because I think what the CIPD it became like an easy way, like a tick box, because anybody can pass the CIPD. without being able to apply it in real life. It doesn't mean anything other than that you've studied, does it?
So, like,
do you know what I mean?
So, what is it then?
It's all like it's a lot of theory. So it'll
it
be
is a lot of theory.
It's things like Maslow and
Right,
employee relations. There's employee relations. My story about the CIPD, Nat, is I started it when it was the IPM, which was the Institute of Personnel Management. Didn't like it that much and had the kids in between. It took me 10 years to finish it because I was the same as Nat. I couldn't see the relevance of it. But Nat's right. In like the early sort of 2000s, it became like something like it became much more important than it should have been. So when I finished it, it had 3 different names, my qualification.
Wow.
But it's a good question, Elle, because it was a lot of theory. It wasn't a, like a lot of like coaching and counselling and all of those things. You have to do practical case studies and you have to do your. It wasn't that at all, was it, Nat? You had to write assignments.
It was assignments and exams about what facts did and the impact on employee relations. And I get, do you know what? I get some of that is important because some of the historical stuff has come through, and I think you need to have an understanding of it. But I don't think I don't think your HR experience, knowledge, or a qualification should be on something that was 40 years ago, and whether or not you've read enough books to kind
of. But also, Nat, and you'll know this in what you do, the amount of people with that qualification that give really poor advice is a lot.
It is a lot.
I couldn't think what it was. It's a lot.
If I had like 10 pence for every time somebody had said, oh, well, I talked to so-and-so who's just qualified with their CIPD and they've told me to do this. And I've gone, well, if you do that, get your golden checkbook out because that's where you're headed. And I think, how? And I don't think anybody goes into HR and thinks I want to be a really rubbish HR person. I think they don't get the experience or the opportunity or the challenges that like life actually throws at you. And then it's textbook based, so it's a bit like, oh, what did my book say? Or computer says no. Or you can get quite risk adverse advice, and it's not necessarily a pragmatic approach.
No. I think you're one of the most pragmatic HR people I've met. I like it because what I think you're really good at is you understand the problem you're trying to solve, and you know that it's not as clear cut. How did you learn about that? How did you become, or have you always been pragmatic? How did you become that type of practitioner?
I think I'm
word, isn't it?
It is very practitioner.
Thank you very much.
I might use that. Next time I'll be like, I'm a HR practitioner.
Thank you very much. But you can't spell it.
I see.
Your previous career. Sorry, go on, Chuck.
I don't even know
it today. Lack of sleep.
I am a pragmatic. Yeah. I think I've always been practical. So I think it's just I don't know. I just think I've always been a practical person. So I think I've always been like that. So I think the value of a conversation is much more important to me, and the outcome of that conversation than like following this policy says this, so I can only do this, because for me it's about doing the right thing. So Karen knows that my biggest bugbearer in the whole world is injustice. Like I can't bear it. It lights a fire under me like nothing, and like I absolutely can lose my mind over it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm probably pragmatic, is because nothing's black and white. Everybody's got a story, and it serves to understand before making judgment, not just following a tick list, because it's not the right thing to do.
Question then. How do you strike the balance then? Because in my head, and my very limited actual knowledge of HR in practice, like HR is for the company disguised as being for the people is the general gist of what I hear. It's like, oh, you can go to HR, but you can't really, because ultimately, and I get it because it has to be the case, HR is working for the benefit of the company because that's their job. So how do you manage to strike the balance then?
Because I think, so if I think about somebody who doesn't perhaps like perform well, like nobody comes to work to not perform. So nobody comes to work to go, why aren't doing it today? And do you know what? If they do, then there is absolutely a policy for that, and that's a conversation in it. You can do it, but you're choosing not to. Why not? And if you don't want to, then that's that's an exit conversation potentially. But nobody comes to work really and goes, I aren't doing it. There's a reason. So if you've been through an interview process and you've been through a probationary period and then you're not performing well, why? So I think, yes, there might be a process that says we'll have a discussion, and yes, there might be a performance management process that we follow, but why? Why? Like, what's happened? And 9 times out of 10, something will have happened. So, yes, the company pays for HR. Yes, it's a cost. But actually, if you just dismissed everybody because they weren't performing in the role, like, there's an even bigger cost to your company. So that there's a balance in terms of, yeah, there's a policy to follow, and yeah, we have a process, but there's nothing in the world that stops you doing that in a nice way, in a kind way, in a supportive way. And there are companies, I've worked for them, that don't want to do that. That's why I don't work for them, and that's why people leave. So there's definitely a balance, and I think there have been times where I've been ordered to sack somebody, and I've just said no, like, sack me because I aren't doing it. So there's the can't do, won't do. I can, I can do it, but I won't be doing that.
I think it's really one of the things that with the work that we do with women of our time, one of the biggest challenges we have with women is being able to step into the space that you talk about, like actually saying at that point no. What helps you do that? Like, or you just seen red mist at the time, or because actually that one of the things that we want to try and help with these podcasts is help people who are listening understand at that moment when somebody else is being asked to do something they don't want to do. Why do some of us say yes? Probably me some of the time. Not anymore. I'm too old now. But I think when I was young, I would never ever cross integrity or values. But I have sat through some. Actually, and you're right. It's one of the reasons I left one company to do some really terrible, like compromise agreements and things like that. That I just thought I can't hack this. So how do you do it now? Is it just your character, or have you taught yourself to do it, or is it just when there's injustice about you're in red mist and you don't know what you're going to say?
To do what, it's probably a bit of all three.
Oh, okay.
So I think some is learned by experience. So I worked for a business that was, other than admin and HR, was all men. Right. And so like throwing chairs, screaming, shouting, swearing, that was every meeting. And like when I first worked for that organisation, I was a bit like a lot younger than I am, and I didn't know. So I was like, but it was it was sold as a good job, and it was something I've never done before. So like, was real excited, and I was just like, oh, maybe this is how it is. Like, because who tells you that that's not right? So I was like,
good point.
After about 6 months, I was like, I suppose looking inwardly, like I was just like, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be shouted at. I got so in that particular business, there were comments like, well, you can't put lipstick on a pig. Like, that's really nice. I went to do a compromise agreement, and the senior individual I went with suggested that after dinner there was a porn club, so let's go in there, let's have a lap dance. And I was just like,
What's happening? Yeah, what is going on?
Over time, so I was just like, no, because that's me. So if I don't want to do something, I'm not doing it, and usually I'll just say no, and I'll give you a reason. Sometimes I won't. And I suppose over time in that business, I just thought this is just like not right. And when I left, that senior person, what can I do to get you to stay now? And I was like, a company Ferrari and an unlimited credit card wouldn't keep me. I'm off. And I suppose that was a really steep learning curve for me. And I left with nothing to go to. And I was like, what am I going to do? Mortgage, car, everything that everybody, all the bills that everybody has. But I found something, and actually, when I got there, it was wholly different, and I was like, so it's learned by experience, and I suppose it's knowing your boundaries. So from I wouldn't ever find myself in a position where a senior leader would invite me to a lap dancing club without a consequence. It would never happen now.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
It's insane that you were ever in that position in the first place.
I think. What do you think about? I think when I was new in my job, there was everything was so in your face. Then do you know like things like that were seen as okay to do, and I think so. People say, "Oh, things have changed," but I think that sort of stuff is really stealthy. It's really hidden now. It's still there, but it's hidden. Do you see that change with? Because it did used to be really in your face, but now I think people think it's not there, but it's really deeply hidden. And it's the word covert. Yeah,
it is in there. It's under the magic carpet.
Yeah,
because because I suppose it takes a certain person to call it out. So if you have an organisational culture where nothing's called out for fear of consequence, and there's no feedback and there's no transparent conversation, then clearly it's likely to happen. But if you've got a mortgage and children and a dog and a car and whatever, and nobody else, it's really hard to be that one that says, I'm not.
Yeah.
Because why would you? Especially if, the fear, it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think unless you've felt that, you can't articulate that, can you? It's one of those things where that's why I think a lot of the time it's not taken seriously, because people who haven't been there don't understand what that feels like. It's really sad, isn't it? So why did you go? So you decided to launch yourself into your own business. Why was that?
Madness, moment of insanity. So we've established I don't like injustice, and we've established I'm not a tree. So I think I've done a long time in organisations, and I was probably bored of doing the same dance. Yeah. So I don't like the politics. I'm not interested. I don't like the I suppose the clickiness or the snidiness, and I don't like being the one that has to marshal that either. So I don't like it's almost sometimes it's like being back at school, and as I mentioned, I didn't like that. So I it's probably all related. Somebody did some psychological analysis on me. They'd be like, "Oh, you don't like that because that happened in the day." Would probably be true. So all the things I didn't like, and I just thought, actually, what I've walked out of a role before, and the world didn't end. And I suppose it's been in control of your own destiny, in it. So I didn't like the business that I was working in. It was very insular, and just not a nice place to work.
Yeah, I think one of the things, and we're not talking about that today, but I think one of the things you're very good at, because of your experiences, is you also recognise when it's starting to affect your mental health and you're being burnt out. And I think that's a really important thing for people to understand, that recognising when it's not doing you any favours also is a big thing to say, I've got to do something different, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think probably twice throughout my career, I've had like, so the first time, like it really crept up on me. So I was just like, keep going, that keep going. Like it won't be like this forever. It'll be fine. Actually, this isn't a bad place to work. You like the people you work with, blah 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 blah. And like over time, what it did was made me resent everything. And I didn't see, and I did get into like, I don't know, a vicious cycle of like, what am I, what am I going to do? Where am I going? What's the point? Like, I'm tired. Why am I tired? Just I suppose then you get into like negative thoughts, and it's just it's not a nice place to be. And then kind of the second time it happened, I saw it coming. I was like, hang on, I felt like this before.
I was so proud of you though when you did that though, because that takes a lot, doesn't it? I thought, oh, good for Nat, do you know, like.
And it did. I was absolutely like shitting a brick.
Yeah.
But when just honestly,
Fair enough.
I did it, and I was like, oh, I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had this really like, yeah, I did it, and actually I can do it, and oh look, I'm not dead. Lightning didn't strike, and like the world carries on. And then I had a few months where I just chilled out. So I did my garden, I spent time with the dogs, I got a nice tan, and I was, do you know what, I was real fortunate. I was fortunate to be in a position, and I just started to think like, what do I want, and what, do I want to spend like the next 20 odd years doing this, like hoping I might find somewhere that like I fit with, or knowing that I don't fit and having to move and then having to start again. And I was just like, probably not. And I wanted flexibility. I like doing it's no secret, like I want what I want. And quite a lot of the time it can be on my own terms. Yeah. And so setting up on my own gives me that, because actually I work with people I want to work with that want to work with me. I don't work with anybody who compromises my morals or kind of how I think or feel. And if I get those people, I just say no.
Yeah.
Do you think it took you, like, because I think, you can tell that you know what you want and what you don't want. Is that another thing that you've learned how to do, or is it something again that you've it's always been in you where you thought, gonna do what I want anyway?
I think if you ask my mum, she'd be like, she was born like that. It's just got worse.
No, because I think it is it's when a lot of people know they don't want something, but they don't know what they do want. And we were having a conversation about that yesterday, actually, weren't we? A bit everyone knows what they don't want, but people really struggle to know what they do want. Did you and I guess that's what it was, to get to that point where you're like, actually, I know what I want. Did you have to work on that, or is your mum right?
I honestly, I think my mum's right. Yeah. So I do think I either want it or I don't want it, and I'm quite firm. And there's probably, so she this will make you laugh. So despite what HR's not black and white, there are shades of grey. My mum would tell you I'm 100% black or white, and there's no shades of grey.
Right.
And probably that's where it comes from. So it's a yes or a no, and there's nothing in between. And there's no talking. There's no I didn't ring my mum and say I think I might walk out on my job because I'm not very happy, and I think I'll set up on my own, but I don't know how it's going to go. So I thought all of those things.
I was going to say that you've not got there by accident, though, have you? Do you know what I mean? That will have been going on in the background.
So it went all through my head, and then I rang her up. I was like, anyway, I've quit my job, Mum. I think I'm going to set up on my own. She was like, right.
How long have you set up now, Nat? Is it about a year?
Yeah, so it'll be my birthday next month. Yeah.
Oh my
How's it been?
It's mad. So it's
very different, isn't it?
yeah, it's so different because now, like so now I think HR's like easy. Like I think I could do like HR blindfolded, spinning around on fire upside down compared to like running your own business. Because now I'm the accountant. Now I'm
Oh,
IT,
yeah.
which is
I was just saying
ridiculous.
that to Ellie before we came on. I went, oh, I've got to pay my self-assessment. I've really cocked it up. Like, and Ellie was going, I've got to do mine as well. Do you know, like, it's like,
And now I'm like, I'm all these things, and like, I don't know how to do them. Like, and some of them, like, I
No.
don't, you know, Karen, you'll know because I ring you. I'm like, Karen, I don't know how to do that. Karen, can you help me? And like, there are loads of people that I go for an example, I got a letter from the ICO
oh yeah,
saying you need to pay this thing because you now have data, and I was like, okay, so I know about GDPR
Yeah.
because I do that from HR. But like, what is this thing I have to pay? And like,
No, it's
who
mental.
tells you?
No, nobody can, and it is. It's like, right, well, I know what I'm doing, so I can do the practical element of it, and then you're just like, what is the rest of this? Like, what do you mean I've got to sort it out by myself? Like,
it's quite like lonely, isn't it? So I think
Mm.
like we clearly we all work for ourselves and that, and there's a liberation about it, but there is a
Yeah.
loneliness about it. Do you know, like, and I don't mean loneliness like not having people, but like oh my god, I've got to shoulder this by myself, like which you don't, because I think if you could help people set up their own businesses, particularly women, you know, and gave them that support stuff, I think it's amazing. But there is that whole vacuum of support, isn't there? You know, like that. You know, like I had a really serious case, didn't I, like a couple of years ago, where through no fault of my own, somebody didn't pay my invoices, and then suddenly you have to get a solicitor. And luckily, I had a really good insurer, but it was only because they were the people I picked because I liked their logo or something. Do you know, like, and I think this. I think we were talking. Who were we talking to? It was Rachel in America, wasn't it? And she was saying that it's a much more entrepreneurial culture over there, where at any age there's what would the word be? There's a culture where anybody can set up. Whereas here it's seen.
Yeah, I can't remember what
differently.
she said, but she just said like it, like in the US, like it. I can't exactly remember what she said, but she just said it's a lot more like. Whereas over here, we're like, you're going to set your own business up now.
Yeah.
You sure about
Like
that? Whereas they're like, no, go for it. Like, this is great. Like, here's how
much
we
more
can.
support.
Yeah, and here's who I know. They'll be able to help you with this, that sort of thing. And I think it's just like a lot more
Accepted and supported.
Yeah, oh, yeah, because not that it's not accepted over here, but yeah, I wish I could
There's
remember. It
not a
was just
lot of
pointless because I
help,
can't
is
remember what
there?
she said. No.
But there's not a lot of help. So I think, like,
When I
I don't
started,
know.
I think there's the Chamber of Commerce, which is no disrespect, they do a really good job. Didn't help me at all. And that other, what was that other network? Me and Elle went to a marketing workshop. It was bizarre.
It
I don't
was
think it
weird.
exists
We
anyway.
probably shouldn't say the
Oh,
name.
I
Do
do.
you remember?
I
Because you need to talk
vaguely,
about
yeah.
yours, because your network is great, but you don't have the network you need, which is mentorship, or like somebody that you can say, I don't know how to write a proposal, or who knows, you know, like you don't have that. You find, like, one of the reasons, you know, we set up Women of Our Time is you find it by default because you know somebody who knows somebody. Like my accountant is somebody's accountant that I knew. Whereas actually anybody who wants to set up should be able to have that, because you have a great network that you go to, don't you, that which has got B's and N's in, I think, or something.
Yeah, so I do, but I think like, so what do I think about? So when I started, like, I have a network, and I have what I think is a really good network, but it is a
What would you
network of
classify as a network then? What, when you say you've got a really good network?
so people, so there are like, I know lots of people. I've
Yeah,
worked
like,
with lots
yeah,
of people. Like, I know, but most of my network are HR people.
yeah,
So that's brilliant. If I'm in an HR quandary and I go, and I just want a sense check. If this happened,
yeah,
would you do that?
yeah,
But actually, I didn't know an accountant,
yeah.
and
It's hard, isn't
like,
it?
I don't know anybody in, I know a few IT people who I worked with, but they're not the IT people that I needed to help me.
No.
And then, like,
And
where
you're
do I
printing,
find?
have no printers. You have to buy your own printer and print
Yeah,
your own workbooks.
exactly. And where like, and where are my clients? Like, how do I reach people that I don't know? Like, how do you do all of that? And I think then it is lonely because you've got like, and I think I said to you, didn't I, when I first set up, I spent like a week trying my very, very, very best to set my website up, and just wasted a week. And I know what you was like. So do you think that's like, is that a good use of your time? Well, no. So I've just lost a week of my business trying to do something I fundamentally hate and I'm never going to be able to do. And that's one of life's little lessons, isn't it? So now, if I
only knew that now because of when I set my first company up, I did exactly the same, and I never looked at it. It was I couldn't even look at it. I don't even know whether it's a live now because it was so awful. It's like it was awful, but you just think that's what you have to do, don't you?
Yeah, so I think so. I kind of searched about, and that's how I ended up at BNI, and that's kind of there's lots of people that go. There's loads of different kind of occupations. Some business owners, like there are some businesses, like legal professionals that go a part of a corporate firm. There are other like businesses like me who there's just me, or there's just somebody who does like, I don't know, like an electrician or something like that. But actually, it's like a Thursday morning in the office, so it's nice to go and just be around people who have a business, who if you don't know an accountant, they probably do, or if you're struggling with IT, they can point you in the right direction. And I think that works with like people that I've worked with. So like she has to, doesn't she? She's got to do it.
She just wants to be the star of the show.
I know. So like Karen and I have worked together for like ever, and I'm like, oh, Karen will know somebody. And I think a lot of when you're on your own is knowing somebody who will know somebody and like that can help you. But I think in terms of like real support or tangible help, there isn't. I don't think there is. You might stumble across an organisation, but only because you've gone to somebody who knows somebody. There's nothing like where you could, I don't know, Google, like, what do I, like the fundamentals of starting a business, and go on like a meaningful workshop, or do you know what I mean? Like something that's really going to help you.
Well, we what I think is they get it wrong is Ellie and I decided we needed to look at marketing because that's what people tell you need to do. It was a few years ago, wasn't it? We rocked up at this workshop, and this guy is going on, and really, and if write down what's the most important to you in your business, and we la 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 la, and then he's going, and if you don't spend all your time on that thing, you're never going to achieve it. And you think, well, that's a nice sound bite. Like one of the things that women of our time that we want to do was we want to really help people with how do I do it, not what do I need, a little bit of what do I need to do, but like how do I do it. Do you know, like, and this guy was like, well, if it's not at the top, I always remember the guy said it's got to be at the top of my list, and then you'd go home and you got the kids, or you've got stuff to do, or like you're worried about money, and you're thinking it's nowhere near the top of my list. And so I think meaningful is a really interesting word, and I think it's being meaningful to that person, not to the mass. Do you know, it is. That's why I think that I think you mentioned that about support. I think what I hear in those, it's also people you trust. So it's not just somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. It's somebody you trust who knows somebody.
Yeah.
And somebody that's actually going to help you. Honestly, if I had like a pattern, just point them in my direction, or so will help you. And like, they don't, like, in actual fact, they either they don't want to, they haven't got the time, or there's some other reason, but they're never going to help you.
No. I always think it's really interesting as well, like you're amazing with us. Like I'm always messaging and saying, what would you do about this, or can you help? Like you're helping us with the support hub. You don't give it with any expectations, do you know, like, because you know that we'll reciprocate it. I think it's really interesting when somebody says, like, oh, I'll put you in touch with this person. And they know that you're a tiny business. And then they know your cash flow is terrible. And then they say, oh, we can help you with that. And it's thousands. And you think, really? Like,
It's
like,
nuts, isn't it?
it's nuts.
It is bonkers. Like, but the marketing thing, I've been taught about the marketing funnel. Well, do you know what? I'm not a marketeer. I work in HR. I'm not really bothered about your marketing funnel because I don't get it. And like, but if you spend like thousands, we'll do your funnel for you. Well, hello, Mum me Todd. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
think
I need to do it to get the thousands to help to pay for the marketing. Yeah,
but I do think that it's something we talk to a lot of women about. I think we have to put. I know I've talked to you about this when you've done proposals. What I learned way too late in my career, like in business, and is don't undersell yourself. Do you know, like you've also got to you've got to know your worth. Like this. If you somebody equated it to me when I first started. That's your salary you earned. That's what people are paying for. And they're paying for all your experience. I do think there's also something about knowing your worth and charging your worth. But when you're living in like, where am I going to feed? How am I going to pay the mortgage? How am I going to feed the dogs? How am I going to feed the kids? There's a whole like panic in there, isn't there?
Yes,
there is, and it's probably like when I very first started, I was a bit finger in the air, and I was like, and like you and I had this conversation about like why would you do that? And I was like, because I wouldn't go back to any of the companies that I'd worked for and work for that, and just because I'm on my own doesn't lessen the experience that I've got or the knowledge that I've got, or just because I'm not sat in a big company doesn't mean I don't deserve to earn like every penny.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So you're sort of 12 months in now. How are you finding it?
I really enjoy it. Like, I do.
Good.
Yeah, I love it because I suppose probably the top thing for me is I only work with people who want to work with me. So they're engaged. So I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting to get an HR budget. I'm not fighting to do the right thing. I'm not in some political nightmare because, somebody's mates with so-and-so or somebody's wife plays golf with or whatever. Like, there isn't any of that because it in my world, it doesn't exist. So that's my number one favourite thing. And then secondly, like, I've just got into businesses that I never would have. So I've met people who I wouldn't have ordinarily met. I've worked with people who I would have never have worked with before.
Yeah.
And on stuff that probably I wouldn't have got to do in a big corporate. So like the variety and like the challenge has been really good. And then from a learning perspective, the whole thing of running your own business and making it work, like every day's a school day.
God, it's all yeah.
Yeah, no, hard. It is. But I know what you mean though, because you are like it. Christ, an English sentence coming out of my mouth would be great right about now, wouldn't it? But you do get to do, that is the great thing about doing it for yourself is you don't know what the day is going to look like, and you don't know, and it does expose you to things that you would, some of the stuff that we've done over the years, and you think, when would that have happened ever? Do you know what? But, do you know what I mean? Like,
we were laughing about Ellie just came to work for us when she'd come back from her travels just to tide her over till she got a proper job, and here she is now, like in the madness of women of our time, and it's iterations.
Yeah, like 8 years down the line, and here we are, and yeah. So that it is. I think it's worth it, but it's not easy, is it?
No. For sure it isn't. But then, I don't know, I suppose nothing, if it was easy, then would it be worth it?
Probably not.
That's a great question.
I hope so. I hope it would be.
Do you think you've changed as a person, or do you think the real you is now more allowed out? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you think? Yeah.
I don't think I've changed as a person, but I think I probably amended my tone, or I've had feedback you're too direct, or it is always a good one, or you're a bit bossy, or you tell people you should ask. Well, I have asked and they didn't do it, so now I'm telling. Well, that's too direct and very bossy.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I wanted it doing today, not 2 weeks ago. Like, it's kind of like, so I don't think, so I think over your career, you get feedback and you listen to it, and depending on the environment, you just amend, like, your behaviours to fit in, because it quietens the feedback, or the feedback gets better and it's a nicer conversation. But now, like, not that, if somebody said I was a gobshite, I'd take it on board and say, probably, right?
That's probably your mom.
I am, actually, yeah.
She's got on the phone, she'd be like, all right. So I think, so what I think is now, I can be more authentic than I ever have been, because I have the freedom to choose. And do you know what? People have the freedom to choose to work with me the way I am, or not to, and I'm comfortable with that.
That's brilliant.
That's good.
So what do the next 6 months look like for you then? Or do we not know?
Well, do you know what? I honestly, summer, I think it's summer holidays, isn't it? And like, I don't have children, but I think they're like really disruptive. So
the holidays or children?
Both. Cut. Don't send that unchild-friendly HR to me. I think because like in the summer holidays, everybody's away. So I think when you want a decision maker, they're on holiday, but they need to talk to their decision maker who's probably then on holiday. And
it's
like,
really,
I think
it is really disruptive. You don't realise till you're in it. Yeah, it's really hard.
And I found it in like, so when I was in corporate, I'd be like, yes, school holidays, I'll get some stuff done because the email's quiet off. In my own business, I'm like, ooh. What do you do? So I think like there's stuff that I can focus on, ready, and then I think just steadily grow my business. That's what I'd like in the next 6 months.
Yeah. No, I think that's brilliant.
Which I think you will.
Yeah. Hopefully.
No, you will. No hope about that. So is there anything else, Nat, that we haven't covered that you would like to sort of have your say on, or is that too dangerous?
You can get them little like bubbles, can't you, that cover your mouth in a big bee?
Yeah, I'll find one of them for you.
Oh yeah, I wonder what on earth you're on about then,
Yeah. So I think the only thing we haven't covered is women of our time, which is like really close to my heart. Yes, you. So I think like I am a massive supporter and an advocate.
Yeah, you have always been as well.
Anybody, wherever my podcast goes, and if anybody gets to the end of my like, I don't know, waffle, and they're not terribly bored, like I think everybody should support like women of our time, and I do honestly, because I think it's got true purpose and like a belief that like everybody can get behind, and it has like, I know it has a lot of meaning for you too, for sure, but it's really personal, and I want it to succeed.
Oh, Nat, don't stop. We'll be crying.
I know, I'm like,
no, but thank you. That's really
thank
lovely.
you. That's lovely.
I don't know what to say to that now.
No, move on. Move on. Right, thank you very much.
Right, okay. Yeah, last and final question before we all descend into tears. If you had to choose a song to be the theme song for your life, whether that be overall or for right now, what song would it be?
Oh, it'd have to be Tina Turner and Proud Mary.
Oh, great song.
That's a great choice. Yeah, we're going to make it into a playlist once we've got enough to
that'll be
on,
really good.
There's been some great ones, hasn't there?
We could do like what it's like, is it Banded? We should do like a women of our time Banded
Okay, Nat, and here's what you have to do there. Then we'll get everyone to come and do Band-Aid, and you have to perform. And like everyone has to perform their song that they choose, so you have to perform "Proud Mary" by Tina Turner
on mute. That's the only way they've been listening to me singing.
That's a great song. That is a really good song. Really hard to sing though, but a great song.
Yeah. No, exactly. We'll see. Well, we'll see when Nat performs it live for us on Band-Aid.
I think I'm busy.
I think I am. I think I've got like my toenails to bathe in acid or something.
I'll show up at the door. No, this has been great. Thank you so much, Nat, for taking the time out to talk to us.
Thanks for
always
having
a pleasure.
me.
No, it's great.
Yeah, no, and thank you for everything that you do for us as well. We really appreciate it.
We do.
And thank you to everyone for listening, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, sure.
Bye.
Bye.